I will definitely assure you, please move ahead. And whoever are listening this podcast, don't get demotivated by the obstacles, because we are trying to make the best of this this field. So it is not an easy task, it is not at all. And if definitely each day we will find more resistance rather than progress, but it is worth it. And no need to think that we are lagging behind, uh, because after certain time we will see how much we have progressed. It is quite sure. I'm very much sure about that. It's a certain thing.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Selamat datang kembali di podcast Rumah Siput Indonesia. Hari ini kita kedatangan tamu istimewa, rekan saya dari Bangladesh, yang akan bercerita bagaimana sih bantuan ya pemerintah di Bangladesh kepada para keluarga yang memiliki anak tunarungu. Karena saya dengar sebelumnya dari Tanika, di sana pemerintah Bangladesh sudah memberikan bantuan kepada keluarga-keluarga yang memiliki anak tunarungu berupa bantuan alat bantu dengar, implan rumah siput, terapi, dan seterusnya. Nah, agar kita juga bisa mungkin belajar ya dari pengalaman mereka, agar juga bisa hal-hal seperti itu, kebijakan-kebijakan yang bagus seperti itu juga bisa diaplikasikan oleh pemerintah kita di Indonesia. Nah, kita akan ikuti diskusinya dengan Tanika, dan kemudian nanti kita lihat ya, kita simpulkan apa saja kira-kira yang bisa kita pelajari lalu kita aplikasikan di sini. Mari kita mulai. So first of all, I want to thank you for being here to accept our invitation in our podcast, RSI podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's really nice to see you again. We have, I think we have met once, I think several times, but I remember last month that we met in a meeting, and then we discussed a bit there, and then it gave me inspiration. Why don't I learn from you about what happened with the hearing loss community in your country? And then how we can support them and how we can get support from government or from other institutions. So as a background, Tanika, in our country, there is no universal newborn hearing screening yet. And then hearing assessments mostly are paid by the families. And there is only about 70 USD for hearing aid that the government support. No support for CI cochlear implants yet. And then for therapy, there is no support yet. So therefore, listening and spoken language is not affordable for most of the families who have children with hearing loss in Indonesia. Oh, okay. Before we continue, I forgot to introduce myself, yeah, for the podcast audience. My name is Eka Kunia Hikmat. I am the executive director of Rumah Siput Indonesia Hearing Rehabilitation and Training Center. So we give services to families with children with hearing loss. We give auditory verbal therapy sessions, and we give also trainings and also other activities that related to those activities. So Tanika, maybe you can introduce yourself first.
Yes. Hello everyone. Those who yet not known to me, so very good morning to everyone. And myself, Tanika Mahato. You have already heard my name from Eka several times. I'm professionally an audiologist and speech language pathologist. I am Indian, but I am assigned in Bangladesh to work for the people with hard of hearing and deaf. I am closely working with MEDEL since 2019 for a public-private partnership project, which is organized by Austrian Development Agency and Medal Headquarters, Innsbruck. So currently I am in a position of the program project coordinator, project manager, regional project manager of the SHARC in East countries, that is Bangladesh, Nepal and Bhutan. I am an academician too. I am an assistant professor in audiology and speech language pathology in Chennai, that is Bandras ENT Research Foundation. My journey started with cochlear implantation and Medal since 2014. I was that time connected with Medal India, and in between I had to take care of the eastern part of India and Bangladesh. So how I started my journey in Bangladesh, yes, definitely with Medal India since 2014. That time Bangladesh used to get a huge support from India regarding implantation. They had their own distributor, but they didn't used to get the whole support from Innsbruck. We used to get from India. I was the clinical specialist assigned here since very beginning. That time only I think Medal patients it was 34. Now it is more than 1,200. And the good part of Medal is they have launched the project since 2019, which is actually covering the whole aspect of hearing impairment rehabilitation. It's not only that surgery and just the therapy. It's not like that. When we will discuss in the podcast, we will discuss more things in detail. So I would love to share many things. That's about me, and let's hope for conversation and fruitful discussion today.
Thank you, Tanika, for the introduction. I can only imagine like how huge your contribution, yeah, for the country, for Bangladeshi. I don't know how to say like Bangladesh people. Is it Bangladeshi or I don't know.
Bangladeshi, yes, oh, Bangladeshi.
And I apologize for my broken English. English is my third language actually.
Same goes here. Don't worry. I'm with you.
Okay, Tanika. So, how many is the population in Bangladesh? If you can.
It's about population is quite huge actually. It's about 165 million people here.
Okay.
It's a small country, but 165 million people are here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's the census is happened in 2011, and it was about to happen in 2021, but due to pandemic and several reasons, it didn't happen. But it is a huge population, but unfortunately, 10% of the population almost has the hearing loss.
10%?
Yeah, almost.
Wow, that's huge number, yeah. And how many of them do you think that need hearing aids or cochlear implants?
Yeah, if I categorically mention, then it is a major health issue in Bangladesh. About 9.6% actually, that actual number. 13.7 million people in 2000, according to 2011 census. They have the hearing loss, and they have the hearing loss above 40 dB or more. So you can approximately guess that definitely who has the hearing loss above 40 dB, they need the hearing aid. But definitely the people who are like in a handicapping situation, they really need the hearing aid. It is like about 4 to 7% of that population, of the population of hearing impairment. So they need definitely the hearing aid. There is no doubt. And if we consider who are having the profound hearing loss, it is about 1.7 million people. So it is a huge number.
So 1.7 million who
yes.
need, yeah.
They need, I think they are profound, they have severe to profound hearing loss. So they definitely need there may be cochlear implantation, considering other medical and radiological aspects, and rest of the people, like 13.7 million people have hard of hearing. So rest of the people definitely they are in need of hearing aids. And additionally, I would like to mention that per year, 2,600 babies are born with congenital deafness. So that is also a huge number.
And the etiology, like in Indonesia, like I think most of the families I interact with who have children with hearing loss, they said like mostly the etiology is from rubella, because the rubella vaccine is not that common or not universal yet here in our country. How about in Bangladesh? What mostly are the etiology or the causes of hearing loss?
Yeah, actually, what you said, I do agree. It is about the high risk registers, all the high risk registers, and definitely there are some genetical condition, genetical factors. Then consanguinity was a major issue before. And during the pregnancy, mother, I'm not very sure how they used to get the sufficient nutrition and proper medical support. So that is also in questions. And there is a huge noise exposure. So it is about the adult, not about the children. Noise exposure could be a crucial reason for hearing loss at some cases in the late childhood or late onset of hearing impairment. So these are the main factors. This is definitely creating a substantial social and economic cost in the country. So it is also influencing the child's health and development, resulting in the improper education. So these are the issues.
Yeah. Do you have like universal newborn hearing screening in Bangladesh? Because we don't have it yet. Only a few hospitals, I think, that have the equipment. How about in your country?
Same goes here. The issue of universal newborn screening is still existing. We are still fighting with this issue. There are several policies have been adopted. It was in 2011. It was the name of that policy. It was the strategy was National Strategy on Prevention of Deafness and Hearing Impairment in Bangladesh. So that was the policy when they prepared. It was a long journey. That time they framed a policy for newborn hearing screening too. But implementing, yes, definitely there is a question, because it has not implemented in all the government hospital. In proper cities, suppose in Dhaka. Now I am in the capital Dhaka. So in Dhaka, 1 or 2 hospitals are conducting. It is a self-initiation, you could say. Government hospital, a public hospital, I think one only. Sometimes they it's not on regular basis also. It's not a mandatory thing. And in some private hospitals, still there is a lack of awareness. I must mention, few days ago, I met 2 gynecologists with my friend, and both of them are not much aware of the newborn hearing screening, even the profession of audiology. So when I was introducing them, they have a little idea, but they don't have that kind of concern that it is really required, though they are appointed in a maternity hospital. So this is the situation, even with the professionals. So definitely it's lacking. But now, if I introduce a bit about the project, what we are doing here, then you will get a glimpse of idea what is emerging and what could happen in future. Right?
Can you repeat? Sorry, can you repeat first the policy national prevention, or can you repeat?
Yeah. It is a prevention of deafness and hearing impairment in Bangladesh. So it is PDH. In short form is PDH. Yeah. In 2011 to 2016, they formed one policy framework. Yes. So there they identified that that according to like their study, the childhood onset deafness in Bangladesh is about 5%. So whereas in adult onset deafness is 33%. In respect of manpower, there were only that time they were having only 307 ENT specialists in the country. Imagine how much is the population and only 307 ENT specialists. There was no certified audiologist in 2011. now it has not changed much significantly. There is no change. Yeah, slight change is there. Definitely now we have completed audiology and speech language pathology degree. So that also very small number, 21 people just have passed out. Okay, so it is a really alarming situation. It is a really alarming situation. So the act that I mentioned, PDH, the Prevention of Deafness and Hearing Impairment. That act actually that was framed. It has a history. It has a history because in 1985 and 1990. They have observed, the government observed that disability is itself a huge cost for society, the economic burden, and if it progresses in such a rapid way, then it would be a crucial issue in future. Definitely within 10 years or 15 years, it will be like a huge burden for the country. Then they initiated talk with WHO with some international collaboration. So with WHO, they found out the two strategy. One is deafness is curable. It's not that we can just leave and then and act like helpless, right? So it's curable. So it is possible to cure, and then it is also possible that there is a ray of light to integrate these people in the mainstream. And for that, we have to do a rapid survey. So if you do a rapid survey, then only we will understand that yes, there is a population and this is the number, and then which steps should we take forward, right? So that was the exact thing they did. After that, they made the policies, and in that policy, they have included newborn hearing screening, then manpower build up. So in that, definitely the ENT surgeons, ENT practitioners, professionals, audiologists, and speech language pathologists. So it's a huge teamwork. So we cannot just empower only one professional. Like we are focusing to take more seats of ENT or the other professional. It won't work. We need, as well as rehabilitationists, we also need speech therapists, psychologists, and definitely audiologists. So that is the task they took. They have proceeded with some equipments set up. Here is some institute in Dhaka, National Institute for ENT Hospital, BSMMU Hospital. So they have good instruments now. They have not only hearing for, even along with that vestibular lab also they established. So yes, infrastructures are there, but still long way to go.
So what does the government facilitate for the families with children with hearing loss? What does government provide for them?
Government actually categorically, if I mention, then first I would tell you about a little bit CI, cochlear implantation, and then about the hearing aid. So in cochlear implantation, government is providing a unilateral cochlear implant. The people who has they're the real candidate. Definitely, they will consider all the aspects regarding medical, radiological, fitness, everything. Then for for the 1 year unilateral cochlear implantation, they are providing free of cost, but no accessories, additional accessories. I won't say no accessories because basic kit is there, basic processor kit is there. But when the warranty is over, then government is not providing much accessories. That I would like to mention, because this is selection of the cochlear implantation itself thoughtful stuff, because if you select an improper device, suppose for example the cost is less in tender or something, the business aspect, I won't explain much, but yes, if you only consider the cost during the tender and selection process, the government selection process, So then maybe you are getting a simple basic device. That is okay. But that device, the government has to keep in mind that device the child is used to carry whole life, right?
Yeah.
So the cost and the spare parts is too expensive.
Yeah.
So that time we have to be thoughtful enough, wise enough to choose proper device that in future we don't have to worry much about the spare parts, right? So this is a huge burden because sometimes, most of the times, the parents, they are selecting the device, they are very happy that yes, we got a new year. This is good, magic year. But after several years, once the child also has started speaking, suppose.
Yeah.
So they are in the way of developing proper communication skills. And that time, all of a sudden, they will face a real scenario. Real scenario in terms of a huge economic burden, spare parts and all. They cannot support. And the government has said, no, we can't do anything. So then it is a big issue. So it is not about only financing the cochlear implantation in 1 year or 2 years. It is also about the sustainability of the program. So later on, we don't want the family to drop the implant and say, no, we cannot bear this cost and let it be. So that time, if we just give the child without implant because we cannot bear the cost, then this is no use even, right? So that also we have to keep in mind. And yes, what government is providing, they are providing a basic kit, but if you want one better processor or something different processor or some little bit different kind of implant, then there is an option I have seen that if the privately the person can provide extra money and then can get that kind of processor. That option is there. It's not mandatory that what government is providing, that only that person has to take. And then rehabilitation. In rehabilitation, most of the hospitals, they have kept 1 year no charge. It is free rehabilitation, free of cost. Yes. But and some hospitals, they have extended. It's sometimes the decision of the hospital also. If they want to extend the program, they can. But there is also some pros. There are some pros and cons I would like to mention. It's not about giving the free service or something. Sometimes parents are not understanding what they are getting, so they are getting the free service, but sometimes very irregular. One duration is over, suppose 1 year is over, then they are realizing that something we have missed out. And that was free of cost. Now they're willing to pay and go to private clinic and get the speech therapy. So it's not about providing the service free of cost. It's about also making the mindset of the parents that yes, this is free of cost, but this is the requirement. So I think in making the policy, we also have to keep those things in mind. So it's not that we are just distributing free of cost, right? So they should continue. Mapping and programming, this kind of charges are free for 1 year. That I know, very sure. And now next point is about the hearing aid, as you said. So there they have 4 slabs. If it is below 15,000 income, 15,000 BDT, definitely Bangladeshi taka. So if per month the income of the family is below 15,000, then they are getting the first time the implant, they are getting the hearing aid, they are getting free of cost. Okay. Second slab is 15,000 BDT to 30,000 BDT, Bangladeshi taka, right? So that time they are giving 25% of the cost. Okay, the family, government will bear the rest of the money. Third slab is 30,000 BDT to 40,000 BDT.
So if we convert it to US dollars, how
US dollar?
How much is it?
Almost 100 BDT. 90 BDT is $1 almost. And if the income of the family is more than 40,000 BDT per month, then the parents have to give the full cost of the hearing aid. So second time, no chance of getting free hearing aid. First one only, they will get free of cost. So this is the scheme for the hearing aids.
Yeah. So Tanika, like how many children or adults, I don't know if the government only support children with hearing loss or also adults with hearing loss, yeah, for the cochlear implants and then hearing aids. But how many of them getting free cochlear implants or free hearing aids from the government each year?
That statistics I was trying to find out, but I couldn't have the exact number, but I can give you an estimation, because hearing aid, we really didn't get any number. We tried a lot, but in terms of implantation, I have seen almost per year, it is like four hospitals, 2 RB and 2 civil hospitals are getting funded by government, a huge number, and it's about more than you can see they are getting implantation, and there is a fixed time here. This is also a good
recording in progress.
A good part of the program is that they have well, and they used to take sometimes a lot of headache, and they finish it up, because if they cannot finish, then they won't get the next fund of the next year, so they have to finish it. So sound hearing is the strategy of the PDH, the prevention of hearing and deafness. So the sound hearing strategy, the main agenda of sound hearing is in 2030 there will be almost zero. The hearing loss will be zero in Bangladesh if they follow this particular type of strategy, the policies they have prepared. So let's see. Yes.
So far I think we talk more about like the how to overcome or the policy how to intervene, but what does the government do to prevent the hearing loss?
Prevention. Yeah, about prevention, this prevention is better than cure, we all know, but I cannot mention anything very obvious program. No, nothing I have seen yet. Just for hearing loss prevention, anything have been conducted for the pregnant mother, or it's not there. Still very less awareness. So I think lot of campaigning is required, and that can be only conducted from where the universities, the medical college, the students who are still studying. So these are the people who can really spread the awareness and empowerment. So somehow here we are lagging. Lacking. Yes.
So if I'm not mistaken, what I understand is about until now about 600 patients who got cochlear implantation for free from the government
per year.
And then also they have like 1 year free therapy for rehabilitation. And are there all children or some of them are adults?
Only few are adults.
Okay.
Considering special scenario, but most of them are children.
And hearing aid, can you repeat like how much do you think? Or you don't have the exact number, maybe estimation?
Yeah, that I didn't get, because no survey have not yet been done. Only one hospital they are initiating those kind of surveys, BSMMU hospital. So they have done all the surveys, but that also very old studies. Hearing aid related surveys I have not yet seen anything.
So I think the Bangladeshi government has, I think, quite good policy about hearing loss compared to ours. I think, of course, not like the initiative. I think it's not come from government usually, but from other parties first. Who do you think the most who give the most contribution for that policy to be present?
Definitely, we have a lot to discuss on those things, because when we are working here, we can see many aspects and many perspectives those we were not aware before, right? So definitely I have many comments and many suggestions. If you feel free, then I can also discuss few things. It's not about there are many things. It's not about the professionals. It's about uh, actually, if you want to start, the step one should be from like this newborn hearing screening. Definitely, for that you need equipments, manpower, and space. Okay, so you have to make it is better, because over here how we are doing the model, we are following the project we are conducting. So we have this one segment, we have this agenda. So what we are doing is we are engaging all the intern students, okay, intern students, and as a part of their practical posting or campaigning. So we are taking them, and then we are engaging them for newborn hearing screening. And then we have some from actually we got those equipments from Poland, the World Hearing Center. So it's why I am mentioning these things, because international collaboration is sometimes needed, and for that so that even if you don't have if you have some equipments, even not imported, yours only, that also good, effective. So then you start collecting data, right? If you get the data of the newborn people per month or per week or per year, there's this much data I do have. The quantity of the data and the quality of the data should be proper. And then you can approach to the authority level. Suppose the medical college authority would be far more better, because the authority of the medical college sometimes have a good connection with the health ministry, right? If you can project the data, see, this is number of this city only. So if I conduct the study in other nearby city, then I can show you this will be a multiplication of the data, right? So huge data. So this is the situation of my country. Now this is in your hand. Yes. So you are the authority of a medical college, a big medical college, a famous medical college, and who has a good academic background, So you have to choose this kind of medical colleges, and then that authority has to take this data to ministry level, right? And then with the data, what should we do? We have to approach to international authorities, or we have to go for international collaboration. Just like here, they did the collaboration with WHO, and then they got the solution of the two strategies, like the hearing loss is curable, and then we have to do the rapid survey, right? So then with international collaboration, it is better to get the manpower fund and whole, the project kind of stuff. So then with that, now you need it's not about the screening. When the screening is done, we also face some problem in the initial phase of our project. So when the screening is done, now you have to search some partners who will do the follow-up of those screen children, right? So just diagnosing that yes, hearing loss is there, this won't solve the situation. So we have to do a proper follow-up. Then who will take those responsibilities? So we can ask those medical colleges that please take the responsibility, but that time they will say we have only this many people, we don't have audiologists, we don't have this and that. So in that scenario also we need some professionals. So at this stage, you can see this is a very lengthy process, but there is also a quick solution at present moment. Who are working there, like serving for Indonesia, for the country for long time, suppose 20 years, 15 years, many people are there who are in hearing healthcare industry. So with the collaboration of the, with the international agencies and the organization, you can educate those people for the current level. Okay, suppose we are at the level 1, so that to get the proper training of the level 1. only the screening, how to do the screening and where to send them. So this training is enough for them. All right. Then go for the level 2. Like, okay, now next stage is this, and then go for this hearing aid fitting, proper diagnosis, or the CI candidate, segregate them. So level wise we can train them, and parallelly at the same time we can make some academic goals, such as making some audiology courses, speech therapy courses. And when these people will pass out after 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, you will get a good manpower, the certified manpower. So you are not losing the time. In between, you are also empowering the existing professionals. That we are also doing here. It's the terminology we are using here is training for trainers. So it's trainers are there, but we are giving them training so that meanwhile they can sort out the things. And at the same time, we are preparing the international level of curriculum for the audiology and speech language pathology courses. We are supporting the university, and then they can pass out and they can also take care and increase the manpower. That could be done. So first, yes, definitely you have to get the data of the population. So then only you can convince the authority that yes, we need something.
Yeah, I think that was a very good suggestion. Yeah, because until now, honestly, we don't have that data. We don't have like how many people, how many children have hearing loss in Indonesia. We don't have that exact data because of lack of research here. So we need to begin with the research. Yeah, so we have proper data to show to the government or the other institutions that can maybe support us, yeah, for that like what we hope, like what happened in Bangladesh, that government and also there is international collaborators, yeah, I think that also support those projects. Wow, I think I learned a lot from today from you, Tanika. So what do you think, like based on your maybe opinion or evaluation, what has been like successful in your country and what are still homework, yeah, regarding this issue?
Yeah, successful in terms of definitely we have a good number of offline implant candidates since, if we consider since last 2 years, right? Before and all, before the project was launched, and that time it was slow, very slow. Now we have at least more than 1,200 middle patient and some other companies. If I combine, then it will be definitely 1,000, more than 1,500 or 1,600 children.
Wow.
But this is still very less. Achieved in terms of academics, yes, we have established international level of curriculum of the existing course, what was running here, that was running here since 2016, the graduation course audiology and speech language pathology, but it was not up to the standard. So it is not about the filling up the seats and just labeling these are the ASLPs and audiologists and speech language pathology. It's not like that. We have to think about the quality of the professionals. So they should also get some good exposure of the clinics and the patients. They should know how to deal the patients. It's not about theoretical knowledge. So that we are, in terms of that, we are quite successful. We have made them empowered a bit. So I'm quite hopeful that after 2 or 3 years or 4 years, we will get a good quality of candidates, at least up to the mark. I won't say that they will be like very much knowledgeable like other well-developed countries, but yes, they will be at a certain position that they can handle the patients. So this is an achievement. For that, the project have kept here almost 3 well-educated and certified professionals here to take care of them. 3 people are there. Then next, yes, we have prepared one module that is like two categories of modules are there. One is training for trainers that I have mentioned, like who are the existing people who are practicing. For them, there is a module. So that module they can access online. That platform is there. So anytime they can listen and they can practice. right? So it is in dual language. So it is translated. So we took the headache to translate in Bengali language, and it is also it's in the English also there and Bengali also there. So suppose if we have trained some people, they also want to train some other people, they can use those modules and they can train. So it's not only in our hand. Now we have, and then anyone can use whom we have trained. So they got the certification. This is also a good achievement. And we have done some screening programs in slums. But here is another problem. The second phase of follow-up screening that I have told, that screening is done, but we are not yet have finalized that where should we send them for the next phase, right? So that is on board. We are figuring that out we will figure that out very soon also. These are the things we have achieved. Then and yes, thanks to, in that case, the online stuff, we have reached very fast. We have reached people very fast, because arranging everything physically is sometimes very difficult. So educating was quite good thing about the online mode. And yes, not yet achieved many things. As I have discussed, many things are not yet achieved because still professionals are not well trained. Some professionals are not aware of the fact, as I said, about the obstetricians and gynecologists, so I don't think they're all well aware of this thing. This is the issue. And parents are sometimes not yet well counseled. Yes, one more thing, as you were a rehabilitationist, I would like to comment. The pre-surgical counseling, when it is happening before the cochlear implantation surgery, that time including one therapist or the rehab professional is mandatory, I think, because there we are lacking. Parents are not much familiar with the rehabilitationist before the surgery. So what they believe is the only professional surgeon, what they are saying, that is the only the advice. So sometimes they don't have the clear idea about the whole team. So they have to be familiarized with the whole team. And I would suggest before cochlear implantation, when the candidate is selected, they must visit the rehabilitation center and see how the children are getting benefited and how the parents are coping up with the situation. So can the candidate I think meeting before the surgery with the parents who have already implanted children and the parents who are going to get the implantation done. So one formal meeting and discussion is much more recommended. For that, I think any center who are going for this cochlear implantation and hearing and rehabilitation program, so for them, I think this is a very key note, that you should form a cochlear implantation or hearing aid club for the parents. So in that club, let them mix up, let them talk, let them ventilate their feelings and anxieties. So they will get the real picture from the parents, sometimes not from us or the surgeons who are just simply giving them some words. We cannot always show them the real picture. Real picture could be only delivered by the parents and the children who are getting the benefits. So let them mix up the pre-surgical and the post-surgical people. Then only they will have a proper concept. It will make you also less pressurized, the rehabilitationist. So I think half of the counseling will be done that time itself.
Like family support group,
Yes, definitely.
And then you mentioned about the international collaborators. Can you maybe emphasize like who are they, and then what did they support?
Yes. I must encourage to like approach via WHO. And definitely in about my project, what I am working, it was also in that direction, like how Bangladesh got connected with Austria. So this project also, it took all the reference of the PDH, then the WHO report, and it is also the principle also getting along with the principle of sound hearing strategy in 2030, you know, all the hearing loss, all the stuff of hearing loss, it will be cured and reduced. In that way, I would suggest that the companies, the hearing aid companies or the implant companies who are launching this kind of project, you should also be in touch and just get some information how they're planning. Because about my project, the Austrian Development Agency, we have a very huge project in the South Asian countries,
Yeah.
and in Africa. So in Africa, they have completed, I think, yes, the pilot project was in Ivory Coast and in Bangladesh. Now they have expanded and it is in 14 countries in Africa and South Asia. So it will last again 5 years. So in that kind of project, in that kind of endeavor, the one key benefit of project is they will cover many areas.
Yeah.
First of all, newborn hearing screening. Second of all, equipments. Third of all, academics and learning of the professionals. Fourth is that the existing professionals, they are trained. So these things are good in project because you cannot do everything alone. So MEDEL, as they are conducting this kind of project in SHARC countries and in the South Asian countries, as also you are also in touch with MEDEL, I would suggest that you can talk to the authorities, the key people there, and yes, you can definitely get some more information how we are conducting. So this is not about always the business, because if we simply business in terms of, yes, I am not saying business is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Even if you want to do a good business, that should be for the people, because business cannot be without people. You have to do it with people only, right? And if you are visionary enough, if you know really how to do a proper business, then you have to understand the core concept of the healthcare system, right? If we are not doing something good stuff and something which is beneficial for the people, then there is no point of sustainable business. Yes, maybe we will get some temporary benefit to sustain and to leave some legacy behind. Yes, definitely we have to be visionary, and for that, team approach is really required. I would suggest you please contact with MEDEL too, so that you can get at least some suggestions. So it will be really helpful for you.
Yeah. So Tanika, if I can summarize what we have been discussing today. So first, of course, we need a good research, yeah, to show the data, yeah, that the government or other institution need to see the reality about hearing loss in the community or in the country. And then, like internally, nationally, the professionals need to like cooperate with each other. Especially, you said earlier, the ENT surgeons usually has more access, yeah, to the government, to Ministry of Health, that can become those surgeons can become the key persons that we need to work together to influence the government. And also we need training, especially training for trainers, and then also to collaborate also with the international colleagues, yeah. And so, Tanika, do you think I summarized correctly?
Exactly, and I think I have spoken a lot, and you have summarized the key points very precisely and nicely.
I'm really enjoying our discussion because I can really feel like how you are really passionate about this topic and how you're passionate about your contribution, yeah, to what happened in Bangladesh. So well done, Tanika, and I congratulate you for that. I appreciate you so much.
I really appreciate your interest, and because Eka, there are a lot of people, but very few of them think that to do something different for country, it's always like 9 to 5 job. They come, they do the work, they do some gossips, and they go home, and then they start over once again. So it's really I really appreciate that you took the initiative, and we had a meeting last time, and then maybe while discussing, you had that sudden idea that you can arrange this kind of meeting and have some fruitful discussion. So it should not be like within between you and me. We can reach to other people, and if a conversation can help the people from Indonesia and Bangladesh and many other part of the world, right? So I really honestly appreciate your effort, and I'm really happy to be with you all here. Looking forward.
I really hope that like our initiative or our effort can have like snowballing effect, and then eventually we can achieve the best for our hearing loss community. Is there any closing statement from you, Tanika, before we close our podcast today?
Closing statement, actually, I think I have told everything. There is nothing left. I must tell you that yes, we will see some obstacles definitely. Sometimes if I work each day, if I count some hours, and if I end of the day, sometimes I see that I have done nothing, and I got obstacles suppose 10 times, and maybe I have succeeded only one time, and I feel that it is not much achieved, right? But if you just complete 1 year of your journey, and then you look back, and then you compare how it was 1 year ago and now, then the accumulated achievement, you will see that it is big. Big means you cannot even imagine how surprisingly it is big. So if we see each day's journey, it is nothing. But if you be patient and visionary, then if you look back for what happened within a year, that is a very big achievement. And I will definitely assure you, please move ahead. And whoever are listening this podcast, don't get demotivated by the obstacles, because we are trying to make the best of this this field. So it is not an easy task, it is not at all, and if definitely each day we will find more resistance rather than progress, but it is worth it, and no need to think that we are lagging behind, because after certain time we will see how much we have progressed. It is quite sure. I'm very much sure about that. It's a certain thing, and wish you all best luck and best wishes, because I believe all of you are very hardworking people, and we will do a lot in future.
Thank you so much, Tanika, for the encouragement. I am really inspired by your persistence, and then hopefully our country can follow your country's footsteps on this issue. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again someday, and we discuss more things.
Bye bye. We are going to meet, I think, physically also. I feel that vibes. Yes. And I would really like to invite you in my country, India, and Bangladesh too. We'll be really happy to make a collaboration later and to have a good program. Even online also we can do, right? Yeah. So happy to have all of you here. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you for your sharing, Tanika. And then, I think I will contact you, of course, surely I will contact you again to discuss more things and to collaborate more on this issue, Tanika.
Yes.
My best regards to your colleagues in Bangladesh and also in India.
Same to you. Thank you. Okay. So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Tanika. Demikian tadi diskusi kita dengan Tanika ya, sangat inspiratif menurut saya. Ada beberapa hal yang saya catat, yang saya garis bawahi, terutama ternyata pentingnya dimulai dengan riset ya, atau penelitian, karena kita harus mengetahui dulu nih, misalnya data-data yang ada ya, realitas di lapangan. Misalnya berapa banyak sih anak tunarungu yang terlahir tidak bisa mendengar, lalu kemudian ada berapa sih anak-anak ini yang memerlukan alat bantu dengar, yang memerlukan implan rumah siput, dan seterusnya. Dan tadi juga saya catat pentingnya bekerja sama ya, dengan para kolega antar profesional lintas bidang, terutama yang saya dengar tadi ada dokter bedah THT, lalu kemudian ada audiologis, lalu kemudian ada terapis. Nah, terutama yang tadi Tanika share, kalau di Bangladesh, salah satu pihak yang cukup dekat dengan Kementerian Kesehatan adalah dokter bedah THT ya. Jadi kita juga perlu berkolaborasi dengan mereka. Dengan data-data yang kita punya, kita share ke pemerintah, kita tunjukkan betapa banyak yang memerlukan campur tangan atau support atau bantuan dari pemerintah ya. Nah, selain itu tadi Tanika juga share betapa kita juga harus bekerja sama secara internasional dengan kolega-kolega lain, terutama tadi dengan WHO ya, World Health Organization atau Organisasi Kesehatan Dunia, agar dengan bergerak bersama PR-PR kita di Indonesia terkait ketunarunguan, terkait gangguan pendengaran, itu bisa segera kita atasi satu persatu ya. Jadi kita berharap, kita berdoa tentu saja setidaknya seperti Bangladesh ya, atau bahkan lebih nanti keluarga-keluarga di tanah air yang memiliki anak tunarungu juga mendapat bantuan, entah itu mulai dari screening pendengaran, lalu diagnosa dini gangguan pendengaran, lalu intervensi dini gangguan pendengaran, yang termasuk di dalamnya adalah bantuan berupa teknologi pendengaran sesuai kebutuhan, bisa berupa alat bantu dengar, bisa berupa implan rumah siput, juga kemudian habilitasinya setelah itu. Oke, terima kasih atas perhatian para pemirsa podcast Rumah Siput Indonesia. Sampai bertemu lagi di podcast-podcast berikutnya dan dengan topik yang kurang lebih di sekitar gangguan pendengaran dan juga habilitasi untuk mereka yang memiliki gangguan pendengaran dengan pendekatan auditory verbal therapy. Selamat berjumpa lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.